It is official. The Browns are really moving. Governor Mike DeWine signed a bill giving the Browns $600 million in taxpayer money to help fund the construction of their new stadium in Brook Park. And the Browns are already posting all about it, and you guys can see it on screen right now. And I'm not surprised. I've been saying this for really since the start of this Browns odyssey, as Andrew Berry would probably call it, to move to Brook Park to get a big dome stadium. That if a billionaire wants to do that and the mayor of Cleveland is the person standing in the way, the billionaire is going to win. So the governor of Ohio signed the signed the bill that was proposed and approved by both the House and the state Senate to give the Browns $600 million in taxpayer money. I'm sure there's more legal jargon to it, but in short, that's what happened right there. And that's what the Browns were asking for to help fund this $2.1-ish billion stadium. The Browns are going to put out a number, $2.4 billion, something like that. It's going to go up. Has a construction project ever gone under budget? No, this is not some crappy 90s show with a couple of moms in the kitchen putting together cheap decor. They are putting together a state-of-the-art brand new stadium. It is going to cost probably closer to $3 billion when it's all said and done, because that's just how construction rolls. But the Browns are getting $600 million from the state, and the rest is on the Haslams to bill. So I personally am very excited about this because I think it is the best move for the team. And let me tell you why. One, people are going to try and tell you this is bad. The Browns are going to lose their advantage of being an outdoor team in the AFC North. Screw them. No one is saying that is a Browns fan that believes that. People that are not Browns fans are going to try and step over the line and tell you how you should feel about a Browns team playing indoors. They have not sat in the cold by the lake and watched this team lose year after year after year. They enjoy watching it from their TV in LA, in Arizona, in Florida. But for actual Browns fans, what advantage has the lake given this team? You had Phil Dawson have a better idea of where to kick it for a little while, but other than that, no. I have yet to see the Browns reap the benefits of being a northern team playing in the cold when a southern team comes to town. And I have made a complete 180 on this stance because before that Saints game in 2022, I was team AFC North football is played outside. I don't care what great indoor stadium you can come up with. I don't like it. And then when I watched Derek Carr, no, it wasn't even Derek Carr, Andy Dalton beat the Browns in Cleveland in December, -10 degrees. No, there's no advantage. So we're just going to freeze our asses off and still watch them lose. So that's reason number one why I'm excited for this move. Reason number two, the stadium is going to be awesome. It is going to be the next big marvel when it comes to sporting venues in this great country. It is going to be something that even the people that despise the move, and I'm not trying to gas up the Browns here, I'm not getting on my knees for them, but when the first game happens in 2029, I'm going to call my shot right now. It is going to be week 1, Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. And it's going to be the most incredible sporting venue that a vast majority of attendees will have ever been to. And at that moment, even the biggest doubters and haters are going to say, yeah, this is pretty nice. I've tried hard to not like it, but I can't. Sorry, I had to stop the video. The FedEx guy came, my dog started to bark. Okay, where was I? This is going to be a kick-ass stadium. And by week 1, I think if not 100% of all fans will be on board, 95% will be. And the last 5% will convert by December, when they have to walk through the freezing cold, through the snow in the parking lot, and they get inside to a nice climate-controlled 69, 70-degree stadium and go, thank God we're not sitting outside right now. So Those are two huge reasons above all else. I am so pumped for this. It is going to be an awesome stadium, and this facade that the Browns have some advantage, and they're doing a crime to football fans across the country taking AFC North football indoors. They can shove it up their ass. The Browns have not had any type of success since 1999 outside of 2 playoff appearances. So I'm not going to buy this argument that the Browns need to do this because it's what's best for everyone else. Screw everyone else. Time for the Browns to do what's best for them. And you know what's not good for them? Continuing the same thing they've been doing since 99. So if that means moving to an indoor stadium, well, that might be a drastic way to change things around. Yeah, maybe that's something the team should do since they haven't won a division title since the 80s. They haven't won the AFC North ever. Time to make a change. They need to make a sweeping change. Now, I am going to play devil's advocate with myself. I have seen 2 to 3 main arguments thrown out against the move. Let me start with one that I just don't see eye to eye with. That is, the Browns moving to this new stadium is going to be awesome for Northeast Ohio. They're going to host Final Fours. They're going to host Super Bowls. They're going to host year-round events. That is partially true. I believe the city of, not even the city of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio will host a Super Bowl within 5 years of 2029. They're not going to have the Super Bowl their first year there. Maybe 2030, maybe 2031. It happened when the Vikings opened their new stadium. Even MetLife got a Super Bowl. I don't like the idea of people so casually tossing out, they're going to host Super Bowls. No, they're going to host Super Bowl. They're going to get one. The Viking Stadium is awesome. The Vikings hosted one Super Bowl. Has anyone ever suggested to go back to Minneapolis in February for the big game? No. No one has. So I'm not going to try and lie about this means Super Bowls are coming to Northeast Ohio. Now, you're going to get one, and that's cool. But let's not stretch the truth to plural. Somewhat similar for Final Fours. Minneapolis, in that Viking Stadium, US Bank Stadium, they got a Final Four. That's when Texas Tech lost to, I'm blanking right now. Was it Villanova? Anyway, they got the one Final Four. And maybe they'll get another one in 10-ish years. So 2 in about a 15-year span. And that's probably on the optimistic side. I don't believe that you build a dome stadium for one Super Bowl and a Final Four every decade. That's not good logic to me. That's just not, compelling enough. The other reasons I outlined earlier, those are good reasons to do it. And those are reasons enough for me to want to see the move happen. But I'm not going to push this agenda of, look at all these events that are going to come. WrestleMania, I'm not a big wrestle guy, so that doesn't really influence me. Some concerts, yes, for sure. Not a big concert goer, but most concerts, correct me if I'm wrong here, they are the concert season is typically in the spring to summer to fall anyway. Artists typically don't do concert tours from November to January. So even if you had an indoor stadium, it would have been nice out, weather-wise, to do it at the old stadium anyway. But maybe this new stadium will have better acoustics, and that factors into an artist's decision of where to go on their tour. I don't know. I'm not a big enough concert guy, but I do think those are some fallacies. I don't know what type of fallacy exactly, but I don't think it's exactly honest to say they're going to get all these things. I just don't like the pluralness of it. They're going to get one of each, and that'll probably be it, at least for a long time. But like I said, the other reasons, those are sound enough to me. So that's one reason I've seen tossed out there is I play devil's advocate with myself that I'm going to push back on. Another thing I've seen tossed out there is the money side, right? And listen, everyone viewing this video comes from a unique background and their own set of circumstances when it comes to income. And I'm not going to try and tell you how you should feel about $600 million of taxpayer money being used in Ohio for a Browns stadium with a billionaire owner. If you are in a position where you are comfortable and you are not reliant on, government money and taxpayer income for subsidizing things, then it's probably not going to impact you very much, right? Whereas if you are someone who is more reliant on government handouts for things, then that may impact you a bit more and you may not really love to see that. So I'll let each person uniquely make their own decision as to whether or not this taxpayer money being devoted to a Brown stadium has an impact on me. For me personally, no, it doesn't. So that's why I'm not going to have a fuss over that. But I would understand why others who are impacted more by it are going to be a bit more ticked off. And I'm not going to try and convince them to think otherwise. So that's another reason that I've seen tossed out there. And then the third one was something I mentioned in the beginning of the video. This idea that the Browns have to stay indoors. Come on. What are we doing here? You enjoy sitting in the cold and losing? I would enjoy sitting in the cold and winning. Like, for example, the Green Bay Packers have no reason to try and move to an indoor stadium. It's working for them. So Packers fans should not be actively pursuing an indoor stadium. They've got a real advantage. It's called the frozen tundra, and it's worked for them for decades, actually a century. So no rush for them to change. Same goes for Pittsburgh. Same goes for Baltimore. Same does not go for Cleveland. So that's a reason tossed out there that I'm just not going to agree with. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's video, breaking down the big news that the Haslams have been waiting for. The Cleveland Browns are moving to Brook Park.